Hello, everyone. My name is Martin Liu. I'm Secretary General of the China-Europe International Design Culture Association. Uh, Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Daniel Ding and the Design Day Marathon for giving me this opportunity to discuss the future of the design education with CEIDA leaders and colleagues as a host. Before we start, let me briefly introduce myself. You can easily see that I'm Chinese. Having working Having worked in Beijing for almost 10 years, I chose to study in the UK in 2016. 1 year after, I graduated from the University of the Creative Arts with an MA in graphic design. Then I worked in London for a year as an audience development specialist in creative culture field. During this year working experience, I was fascinating in business development of the creative and culture industry. That's also why I chose to study Goldsmiths University of London in creative and culture entrepreneurship. By a chance, I joined the China-Europe International Design Culture Association in 2019. Now I work and live in Antwerp, Belgium. For the rest of LIJAM, I will using the abbreviation CEIDA for our association. Now I will take 1 minute to introduce about CEIDA. CEIDA is the first international industrial and exchange platform based on firm line design relative culture forces in China, Europe, and worldwide. The association currently has over 300 professional members and 600 prospective members from all over the world, including China, Belgium, France, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Hungary, Turkey. That's all of the countries. In total is 48 countries. Our vision, we aim to bring together designers, artists, and the related people between China, Europe, and the worldwide, and providing a platform that's giving opportunities for international design culture exchange. Our hope is that members of our association, whether individual or collaborative cooperation organizations, can use this international platform to achieve what they cannot achieve on their own. Today, we have 4 guest speakers, and each speakers will have about 10 minutes to talk about their presentation. Our first guest is the Vice President of CEIDA. He is also legal advisor of our association, Jean-François Peters. He is a lawyer with a passion for Chinese culture. His native language is French, but he is also fluent in Dutch, English, Italian, and German. He also knows a few words of Chinese. Now let's welcome our Vice President Jean-François Peters. Jean-François, you can start.
Ni hao, and good afternoon. Are you able to see and to hear me? Are you
Yeah, I
able
can
to hear?
see you, but if would you please share your screen? Yeah, I mean the PowerPoint. Yeah,
Sure.
perfect. The little, yeah, that's one.
Oops. All right. I hope everything is fine from the technical viewpoint. And again, thank you for inviting me to deliver this brief presentation this afternoon for all of you. I'm very happy to be able to join you on the 2022 Design Day Marathon. And of course, thank you, Martin, for your kind introduction. The title of my presentation is The Future of Design Education. And I have structured my talk in three different chapters. The first chapter, I have called it The Background. The second chapter will be a practical example. And in the third chapter, we will raise the big question, what's next? And that is a question that will be addressed to all of us. The background. Back in the 1980s, the design education community found itself scrambling to find designers who were trained on the latest software and could teach it to others. Technologies continue to change. What other new contents are we faced with as educators? As a vice president of CEIDA, I would like to share my views on the future of design education and the responsibilities of our association. As you know, the vast majority of college design programs still focus on the surface appearance of artifacts, despite declining employment in this type of practice. These conditions triggered this initiative to rethink design education for the 21st century. And one priority of the initiative is to provide an in-depth, evidence-driven academic foundation for design decisions. A next priority is, of course, to help designers to become advocates for social and environmental responsibility. As we all know, design education faces significant challenges. Designers today are often asked to address new kinds of problems at scales quite different from those of the past. And increasingly, design problems focus less on discrete artifacts for communication and manufacture and more on a diverse range of designed processes, services, systems, and communities. Some designers even address complex socio-technical systems that range from issues within local communities to multinational issues. And as an example, we all know the United Nations lists of 17 Sustainable Development Goals. As the power of design receives greater attention from industry, from government, and from society as a whole, many new opportunities emerge for us. Designers need a different kind of education to be able to address these new issues. Let me now turn to the second part of my presentation, in which I will give you one example, a recent example actually. And I will start with CEIDA's role in the future of design education. What is CEIDA's role in the future of design education? Well, CEIDA is involved. CEIDA is involved in these aspects as a supporter, as a participant, and hopefully as an international driver. The example now we are presenting here is the Work and Play Flourishing Design Education International Poster Exhibition, which CEIDA collaborated with ERAM or ERAM, the University of Girona in Spain, and the CIAS University in Zhengzhou in China. And this event happened in May 2022. So it is a very recent event. The theme of the exhibition was flourishing education, and the purpose was to rethink the role of design and visual education in shaping a better future, and also to share values and ethics and good practices in graphic communication to bring a positive message to the young generation. The event was part of the famous Temps de Flors of Girona, an event that has been held every year since it first started in 1954. It is the most well-known event of the city, the Temps de Flors. Now, the main objective of CEIDA's involvement in this event was to develop more opportunities to collaborate with other international art and design universities, such as art and design exhibitions, lectures, forums, summer camps, and of course, other interesting art and design cultural events. And more importantly, it is hoped that this event will inspire students to play an active role as visual communicators in promoting a positive change in the society. EARM and CEIDA invited 60 designers and artists originating from 26 countries around the world. And amongst these countries, we of course had China, but also the United Kingdom, the United States of America, Canada, Switzerland, Denmark, Spain, Hungary, Poland, Macedonia, Israel, Japan, Korea, Singapore, Ecuador, and Indonesia. All participants were requested to showcase their work. And it was a great opportunity to work in an international context. We wanted to exhibit high design standards, and debate about the role of education for a better future in our society. We also wanted to invite and set up collaborations and networks between higher education design institutions in order to promote excellence in the field of graphic communication. And on the pictures, you have an idea of how cheerful and friendly the atmosphere was at this beautiful event last May in Girona. The work and play philosophy means an active collaboration between educators and students in order to create a stimulating and proactive learning environment based on values such as mutual respect, critical thinking, and communication, vital skills to prepare students for the future. And of course, after the COVID-19 pandemic, exchanges globally have halted and they have slammed the gates shut for each other's safety. Now, education has adapted to new platforms where online exchanges and online meetings have become a regular practice. What does education play in creating a better society? Well, we as designers and educators, we must now prepare for a new type of meeting and exchange that will take place after the pandemic. Our mission is to create a solid convergence and collaboration while promoting quality education. Beyond the acquisition of knowledge, higher education comports with ethical values such as honesty, self discipline, hard work, love of learning, and appreciation of diversity. University experience is therefore key to connecting with each other and establishing values of cooperation and respect, which we need to lead to a flourishing future. Working within the context of the future scenario offered the international participants of the event in Girona a different starting point to think about the future of design education instead of starting from today's reality, which could have been a limiting factor. This international poster design exhibition provided participants with elements that helped to provoke their particular type of storytelling and gave them concrete people, environments, and skills to think and to talk about. Now, the Work and Play Flourishing Design Education International Poster Exhibition opened on the same day also at CES University in Zhengzhou. So the two events were held simultaneously in Girona and in Zhengzhou, China. And here you have a few pictures of the location and the atmosphere at the Zhengzhou event, which was held last May together with the Girona event. Let me now turn to the last part of my presentation, in which we are addressing a question, an important question, of course, which is for every one of us in the field of design and culture. What's next? What's next? Future design education curricula, we expect, will focus on developing international collaborations, international approaches, where educators and students will both be co-learners. International exhibitions, competitions, workshops, forums, lectures will bring together different ways of learning and knowing that stem from multiple disciplines. Learning within and learning about the international cultural and natural environment will be a key goal of future design education. So, what's next? Well, that is a big question for all of us, university students, educators, and anyone who is involved or who cares about the future of design education. Thank you to all of you who have been following my presentation. I'm grateful for your interest. And of course, I gratefully invite you to join CEIDA. CEIDA is your community. Join CEIDA for more interesting art and design projects. Thank you.
Thanks for Jean-Francois's wonderful speech. I was very lucky to be part of this international exhibition in Girona. It was a great experience in which I met interesting people from different countries. I hope to have more opportunities to meet interested people like you later on. Let's welcome our next speaker guest, CEIDA Deputy Secretary General, Professor at Zhengzhou University of Light Industry, visiting scholar at the University for the Creative Arts, Liang Zhe.
Hello, everyone. Now I will speak Chinese.
Sure, no problem.
OK，那你翻译吗？还是我直接用汉语
？No, we don't need to translate.
OK.
Yeah, I will summarize
Chinese.
in the end.
OK, thank you. Share my screen. OK， 可以看到吗？可以看到吗？
Yes, I can see. Yeah, no problem.
OK. Hello everyone, my name is Liang Zhe. 那么 now I speak Chinese.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
我的主题是设计教育的全球融合。那么我呢是来自 郑州轻工业大学的副教授，也同时呢也是中国国际设计文化协会的副秘书长。我的主题呢是围绕设计教育的全球融合，来做了这个分享。那么 CEIDA 呢是跨区域设计教育的融合，就是在世界经济全球化、贸易自由化的推动下，设计教育资源在国际间进行充分的分配。那么要素在国际间加速流动与共享，交流在国际间变得更加频繁与平常，使世界各地之间的教育、设计教育相互融合、竞争，设计文化相互影响共存。所以呢，我通过不同国家和地区的文化特点、教育体系和设计教学的模式，我们尝试融入不同的国家和地区的文化特点，融入不同的教育体系构建方法。我们提出了全球融合这个主题，那么意味着全球资源的共享和教育的这种互通，在未来全球设计发展和设计行业中占据重要的位置。美国教育家阿特尔巴赫博士曾经说过，我们已经处于一个高等教育跨国化的时代，一个国家的学术机构在另一个国家建立分支，不同国家的大学合作项目实施不同的学术项目，高等教育由远程技术传播到世界各地。设计教育的全球融合在当下也成为一个必然性。那不同的设计教育体系和设计文化中蕴含着很多创造性的教学方式，那么这些方式呢，将会更具有先进的理念、技术和不同形式的艺术等领域纳入其中。设计教育工作者的角色，也就是说作为我们老师、教师的角色，也要随之转换，技能也相应要随时提高，综合能力也将会被重新塑造。作为一名教育工作者，同时呢，我也是一个设计行业的从业者，我深知设计教育全球融合的意义。那么我在郑州轻工业大学从事设计教育一线工作很多年，与很多设计学院也打过交道，也与设计企业打交道。那他们都在寻求国际设计教育资源的融合，以及行业的融合。那么这个融合呢，不仅是在表面上，更应该深入到学科设置、教学系统、产学融合、设计行业等方面。那么这个融合呢，我把它分成三种形式来进行融合。设计教学资源的国际间流动，也就是我们教师资源的共享；全球化学术资源的互通，也就是论坛的开展；全球范围内展赛的活动，也就是我们通常所参加和举办的各种设计大赛。那么 CEIDA 作为设计教育及设计行业的国际公益组织，旨在为我们中国及欧洲的乃至全球的这个设计学生和教师们，还有包括设计行业的设计师，提供一个交流、艺术交流、设计交流、文化交流的一个平台。目前呢，我们设计教学资源的国际间流动项目达到了16项，全球化学术资源互通项目达到12项，全球范围内的展赛活动达20余项。那么下面呢，我根据我上面列出来的3种方式呢，3种形式，讲一下我作为高校教师参与这些项目的一些心得。那么第一个呢，就是设计教学资源的国际间流动项目，16项，我列出来一些案例，比如说，我们曾邀请过英国米德尔塞克斯大学创意产业教授Phil Cleaver 的讲座，还有厄瓜多尔大学、厄瓜多尔国际招贴双年展的主席Christopher 教授， 还有英国皇家艺术学院白金汉大学教授Lefteris 的讲座，还有西班牙赫罗纳大学利亚教授，葡萄牙 ESAD 艺术设计学院 Emmanuel 教授，美国普渡大学张力教授，意大利欧洲设计学院 William Mazza 教授的课程植入。那么这些课程当中呢，都有这些教授呢以讲座的方式或者课程的方式，来阐述了他们人才培养、课程设置，包括学生就业方面的问题。那么在课程植入上呢，我们与意大利欧洲设计学院的合作，最具有代表性。那么现在播放的这个图片呢，就是与威廉姆教授他在美国哈佛大学心理研究实验室的教学成果，应用在我们学生的创新思维课堂上。远程视频，因为疫情原因呢，我们是进行远程视频教学，1对1辅导，手把手教学生做创意模型，再利用模型组合创意出令人意想不到的作品。这门课程呢，持续了5周，保证我们学生有足够的时间与教授进行交流与思考。最终呢，这个作品也在美国展出。第2项呢，就是全球化学术资源的互通项目，有12项。那么在面临当今世界科技、教育以及观念的不断变化中，也随之变化，设计在社会创新和服务领域进行重新构建，并引导设计教育逐步开启更多的门。CEIDA 论坛尝试反思设计实践者的角色以及未来生活方式，以应对社会和环境的变化。组织来自不同文化背景与设计领域思想在此交流碰撞，这不仅是文化观点的分享，更是对当下乃至我们未来设计教育观念的一个碰撞，从而肩负以设计驱动社会发展的责任，创造一个设计新世界。CEIDA 呢组织了西班牙瓦伦西亚国际设计教育论坛、英国伦敦国际设计教育论坛、中国郑州国际设计教育论坛、中国泉州散都国际设计教育设计制作创新需求云对接论坛，Top S 加2022第3届中韩国际设计周国际设计论坛等诸多会议。那么高校设计教学资源互通具有代表性的就是瓦伦西亚国际设计教育论坛。那么这个教育论坛呢，我们邀请了来自世界各地的专家分享他们的教学经验，讨论各国在设计上的思维和理念上的不同和相同，并在讨论过程中发现设计的通用语言，并提出创意，也对当今许多挑战出适用的解决方案，成为影响了当今艺术和教育的一个因素。这次论坛的任务呢，是将行业、设计师、教师和组织，等等这些公司，包括学生，一起去发现新的方式，进而去创造一个完美的课程。目前我放的这个图片呢，左上角这张呢，就是2021年的瓦伦西亚国际设计教育论坛。那将设计教育与设计行业、生产企业对接的典型代表，就是我们前段时间举办的中国泉州散都国际设计与制作创新需求对接论坛。那这个论坛呢，是以设计师分享加企业互动问答方式，邀请多位国内外的设计人才与教授与设计伞的企业、生产伞的企业进行在线对接，面对面1对1，就以人为本，实现人企共赢为主题，针对当下企业产品创新、人体工程学、用户体验等价值进行深入的探讨及交流，尽向为世界输出更多的工业设计灵感，共同激发无界的创意。同时呢，这个论坛也为我们设计院校 提供了人才培养、课程设置部分的研究要素，能够把企业前沿创意概念传达给学生，提升学校产学研结合能力，为国家培育新时代高素质设计人才提供了基础信息，也为设计产业高质量发展提供了人才支持。第3项呢，就是全球范围的展赛活动。那么，参与国际赛事大赛，对于设计公司来说，可以磨练团队，为公司提高国内行业竞争力以及行业名气有很大帮助。那么，对于我们大学生来说，那就更有利了。借此机会，可以以项目实战方式参与到大赛当中，弥补在校期间参与时间少的缺点，同时还可以与国内外的学生同行进行打擂，利用自己的课余时间提升背景，收获经验，还有机会与国内外前辈以及高手交流，在有效的时间内潜移默化的提高自己的综合能力。对于学校而言呢，在学校的活动教学当中，有一定的局限性。那么我们学生以及老师参与到这个大赛以及实践的机会也并不多，人才培养比拼不够，缺少竞争。许多院校呢就希望通过参加国际类的国际范围的设计竞赛与展览来突破限制，以赛促教，以赛促学，以赛促建，以赛促改。所以在比赛当中呢，吸取国外的著名院校的一些教学经验、教学成果，引导创新，构建良好的教育生态，最终达到增加学生毕业后增强他们的竞争力的目的。那么 CEIDA 呢所组织的展赛着眼于全球教育服务，从大学生的设计视角来看待教育，吸引更多的专业人士、高校教师以及学生来参加这个比赛，希望呢能够产出这个更丰富的教学资源，来开创教育局面。比如我们在这个全球范围内开展的这个有我们这一章，就是在去年中国比利时建交50周年的时候，我们做的一个展览，中比建交庆祝中比建交50周年，我们在比利时的布鲁塞尔孔子学院内展出。这个展览呢也受到了很多关注。那么下面就是在2022年以及2023年，我们协会承办的虎年兔年生肖比赛，还有在阿联酋2021阿联酋世博会下面的一个展览叫迪拜设计周，也是我们协会作为承办单位来承办。还有这赫罗纳大学的国际设计教育展，刚才我们的协会主席也在他的讲述当中提到了。亚洲设计3年展在韩国，还有在土耳其展出的伊朗蓝莲花数字艺术展。那么这个展览呢，同时也在乌鲁木齐当代艺术馆展出。还有以便民系保护非物质文化遗产视觉展，欧亚设计联展、中韩设计展等等等等。这些展览呢，我们不分文化、不分地域、不分种族，让大赛尽力涉及到全世界各个角落的学生。以比利时举办的交融体验中国比利时建交50周年这个设计展为例，这个大赛呢，我们面向了中比两国在校学生、教师、设计师以及插画师都可以参加。我们收到的作品有1400余件，评审团从中选出300余件，在布鲁塞尔孔子学院进行展出。当然，这个展览呢也受到了中国驻比利时大使馆领导的重视。这个比利大使馆呢就让我们在比利时的在大使馆的这个线上平台又再次展出。这个展览呢还受到了人民网、新华网、光明网的关注。 这几个国家的官方网站，对我们的展览进行了专题报道。那么不同的国家学生与设计师进行同台竞技，其实从不同的角度赞美了我们两国的这个友好的关系以及美好的未来。作为文化类设计，这个展览呢是属于文化类设计。文化设计呢又是一个设计的根本出发点和精神的源泉。民族传统精神其实就是借鉴和吸取的主要的内核。通过这样的展赛，促使学生在设计大赛中主动去了解东西方文化的差异、各国文化的特点，然后再将其提炼进行创意。通过参加展赛，也使学生扩展到了学校教学中所未涉及的这个知识，真正的实现了以赛促学。那么 CEIDA 呢将会继续促进中国、欧洲及世界各国之间的设计与文化的交流，相互携手，立足新时代，响应新要求，以促进学术和产业的国际化融合。谢谢大家，我的分享结束了。
Thank you, 梁哲. Thank you for your professional view. 袁老师，麻烦您这边能把那个您的那个麦先静音一下，完了之后等您那个讲的时候，您对，谢谢。
Thank you.
I like his view that CEIDA vision of international design education is driven by globalization and the rational distribution of design education resource internationally. It's also same with CEIDA's mission is accelerating further flow and the sharing of design education around the world. Allow the design cultures to influence, coexist, and develop with each other. The next, our guest speaker is a professor in Spain and Germany. CEIDA executive director, and she will talk about her experience in design. Let's welcome Leah.
Thank you very much for your introduction, Martin Liu. It's a pleasure to be a member of CEIDA, and thank you very much, Professor Zhao Chen Ding, for inviting us to take part in the Design Day Marathon. I'm very happy to take part in this event since some years, and I really have a lot of fun experiencing how is design in China, working with these Chinese students together with European students and from all around the world. So this time I will make a slightly different presentation. I will shortly introduce myself in a different way because this is what we ask our students every day to make. We ask them to do their portfolio, to present themselves to the professional work. And I just thought the best way was just to do it with myself as an example, and that I can use it and see one of the possibilities when they have to make a presentation. So this is like a hands-on exercise, let's say. I'll be sharing here my screen right now, so you can see it. And I'm going to tell my story. So here it is, who I am. Well, I am a woman that is in love with design. And this is a story that started some years ago in Barcelona. He is going very quickly, so let's just make it not as presentation so I can control it. I started my studies in Spain, and my family was recommending me not to study design because at that moment was not like a very known degree, and they were preferring me to make classical university. So I had to study history of art, which I really, really enjoy. But to me, as a designer, it was like a walk in the desert, a really long walk of almost 5 years. And then finally, I had the chance to start doing my dream. And that was when I moved to Milan in Italy, and I started my degree in design. I started it in interior design, although the last year I was finishing in Finland with industrial design. And at that moment, Milan was really the center of design and was an amazing experience. I had the chance to get to know very famous designers, to collaborate with a lot of projects, to participate in exhibitions. And I was really young. And that's why I think that associations like CEIDA can be very interesting to help students and young designers to have the same experience I had when I was starting and I was studying. Because exhibiting in international, getting to know others, making networking is enlarging our experience and is getting us as better skilled designers. After my studies that were really crazy and amazing, I went back to Barcelona. And at that time, well, I had to start working, and it was not the easiest thing. Let's say, as an architect, I had to work at the beginning making something that was absolutely not creative. And that was making light and water installations, like you see here in these maps. That was basically my work for something like 2 years in an office and making these light installations all day. But I think it's a good way to train yourself, to work a lot of hours, to work in team, to work in the same project. And although it was not maybe the most funny project and was not the most amazing experience, this one gave me the skills of being patient and to work very precise, which I think is also very important. Then I started making a very different project. That was the Clinic Hospital in Barcelona. That's a very famous building, and this was a very big project together with a studio of architects and engineers. And I was asked to do the color and material. And to me, that was really amazing because it was the first project that I was doing by myself as a freelance. And I could express my creativity, I could bring my ideas, I could have a different view on it. And it was a great success.
Sorry, Leah, I think we cannot see your screen. Please share your screen.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were actually seeing it. How can it? Then I have to go back.
No problem. You can press the share.
Now?
Not really.
Okay, let's see now. Yes, that's right.
No, not.
Still not? Yes.
Now, yeah. Now,
Fantastic.
yes. Yeah, now you can show your PowerPoint. Yeah, great, perfect. Sorry.
Are you seeing now?
Yeah, I can see. No problem.
That was the introduction. This is the walk through the desert, as I told you before. These were some of the projects I did during my time in Milano and in Finland. And that's Barcelona making water installations, and that's the Clinic Hospital. Then I had a collaboration with an engineering company about light materials. They were developing new technologies on scratchable electronics. So I was proposing several options of products that could be made using these new textiles. And during that time, I was collaborating with the research center on material innovation in Barcelona, the FAT, that is part of the Design Association in Barcelona. And I was basically doing material innovation and on material research. Then in 2010, I moved to Girona, and that's the city of Girona, where you have seen the photos before. And I create my studio. The studio is the one you see here in the photos. And during 5 years, we were making summer workshops. We were working with several clients. Well, we were doing things for the university. We were doing web pages, working for the Auditorium Mexico, and working with a lot of different clients in Latin America and in Europe. especially on culture and branding. In the same year and in the same studio, we started to make a collection of products. These are porcelain products, and these are inspired on the Girona and Catalan gastronomic. We have this bread with tomato, with garlic. I really love these the dishes that are part of my childhood. So I was designing these ceramic bowls that remains like the tomatoes, then taking the shape of the aubergines, pancakes. Actually, this is still sold in Girona and area in Costa Brava, and still are being, as a product, you still can purchase that one. Here, I was collaborating with a company in Mexico. They are designing for a big commercial store these swimming suits. And I was doing research on the trends. This is in 2015, so it's some years ago already. And then we were producing some patterns and producing the swimming suits, which were being sold in these big chains. This is inspired on the vibrant colors because it's summertime, and we had also to make sure that the colors were fitting the skin color of the people who were wearing them. It was a huge project. And here you can see a different kind of design. This is instead not anymore neither textile, neither product. This is about corporate identity. And this is how I started collaborating and working with the University of Girona. I actually started as a designer because I was still working in the University of Barcelona as a teacher in YET. And then I was asked from another university to do their design. So I did their campaign. And I did the design together with a team, Eric Olivares, Arnaringui, and some other employees that were helping us. And we made this identity. We were also building together the master in creativity and technology. And at that time, I started to work as a coordinator of the studies and as a program leader. So going together to Barcelona, working in Girona, and the positions were really a lot of stress. And this is what I do to put the stress away. And this is crochet making. And I started to fold furniture and kind of thinking that traditional technique with some modern patterns and some modern ideas. In 2013, I went to China, thanks to Professor Zhao Chen Ding, who introduced me everything about that. He was introducing me to beef, so I can give some workshops. And I completely fell in love with the culture, with the people, with the environment. It was really wonderful. And I'm still thanking him for that introduction. We were participating at the Beijing Design Week. We were making together the showcases, and it was a really great opportunity to start collaborating together. In 2015, I took the communication of the university, this time as an internal employee, and I started working in the international office of my university in Spain. This is the illustration I made for the university. And here are some examples of the posters that I made of all my colleagues, trying to understand which were their best skills and then making an illustration out of it. And here you can see some more of them, and this is part of the webpage we were developing. And together with the University of Girona, I collaborate in several congresses. We also make the Work and Play exhibition with CEIDA together, which was a great success. And I was working with them something like 12 years until I moved since the 1st of September here in Germany, where I started to work as a professor. A part of my work as a professor and as a coordinator and my activities in the international office, I also follow and try to make always design works. And these were some of the designs I did. This was under invitation from the VDAC Association in Korea. It was the poster Hope, to express about the feeling we had during COVID. It's made out of fingerprints, for this idea of touching again and the wish of touching that it was denied during the COVID time. Then the second one was this poster for the Peru Biennale that was selected out of 40,000 people. So I was really proud of it. Here we have some other posters for the Camellia competition, the pre-biennale in Korea. And this was not a fairy tale, this one for Ecuador that was also selected and exhibited. Here you can see some of my artwork, because a part of designer, I do art exhibitions. Here in Germany, I've made already 3, and in Spain 2 so far. And this is something that started during the COVID time, because I needed to express the world. I could not live outside because I could not travel. So as international office, I didn't have the chance to pursue my work and to travel around. So being at home, I started to develop my drawing skills, trying different techniques with collage, with acrylics, and preparing a different thing that otherwise would not have been possible. This is playing wood, making engraves, printing, playing with the gestaltic laws, and finally, I don't know, following something that has always been my passion, which is designing. Here you can see a little bit about my design process, but I won't make it so much longer because I'm really looking forward to listen also my other colleagues, which are here today. So thank you very much to everybody for this invitation, and I hope we can collaborate in the future together.
Thank you, Leah, for sharing your extensive design experience. I like your ceramic tableware design. So they are so lovely. Are there where you can buy it?
In Girona.
Oh, okay, great. Please share
It's an
the
example of
website with me.
local.
Yeah. That's
Obviously.
really lovely. Okay, let's welcome CEIDA's member, the Dean of School Art Design at Huanggang Normal University, Yuan Zhaohui, with his speech about design education and future. 杨老师，
梁秘书长你好。
你好。
我就用中文讲啊。
对，没有问题啊。您可以分享您的屏幕。
好的啊。这个在线的各位嘉宾、老师、同学们，下午好啊。首先感谢中欧国际设计文化协会给我这个学习和交流的机会啊。我是来自黄冈师范学院设计教师袁兆辉啊。前面几位嘉宾呢，这个演讲非常精彩。那么我今天这个分享的题目是设计教育和设计行业。能够看到吧，刘老师？
可以，没问题。
好，那么首先啊，我们来看一组数据。2020年，我国普通高校这个2740所，共有2178所高校开设设计类专业。这个为什么我现在提供的是一个2020年的数据啊？因为这个教育部高级报表每一年这个10月份提供报表哈，这个那么2022年还没有提供啊，2021年提供的相当于就是2020年的数据啊。那么2020年设计类本科本专科专业共招生72万，也就是说啊，大约每100位本专科新生当中就有7.9人就读设计学及相关专业。 那么在这个本科这个设计类的专业当中，视觉传达开设的高校有791所占比36.1%环境设计开设的有787所，占比36.1%产品设计开设的高校有479所，占比17.5%，数字媒体艺术开设的高校366所，占比16.8%那么这个自1997年以来，我国的设计教育经历了井喷式的高速发展，尤其是2011年艺术学成为独立的学科门类以来作为旗下5个一级学科之一的设计学招生急剧增加。那么自2012年以来，全国本科总招收工科本科专业招生工科本科专业招生以及艺术类本科招生的规模逐年的扩招但增长的速率不同。艺术类的本科招生的同比增长率曲线分布在其他的曲线之上，扩招的增长率一直保持着比较高的这个水平。尽管中国高校设计教育类办学体量庞大，但是全球艺术与设计学科排名前50中国仅占4席，艺术与设计学科排名还是有很大的进步空间。那么这一个基本上就是中国设计的这个设计教育的现状。那么我们再来看一看近几年中国设计行业这个需求的情况。根据这个2018年中国网络招聘行业半年度报告显示，2018年上半年中国招聘网站日均覆盖人数位于前2位的是前程无忧和智联招聘网站那么我们这个通过对这2个网站进行这个数据采集，那么采集的方法是进行这个抽样采集那么抽取的样本城市是11个城市分别是这个设计教育和设计产业比较集中的，像北京、南京、上海、武汉、西安、长沙、广州、杭州厦门、深圳、天津那么获取数据以后，利用Excel 插件对数据进行这个 TF 词频和 IDF 反文档频率的分析，那么得到以下的这个结果那么企业对设计人才在相关领域的行业要求这个第一个是要有这个行业经验，要有这个设计经验，那么最低是1年以上，最高的甚至达到8年那么在这个行业对设计人才能力的期望集中在我们可以看到在这个经验、学历、软件使用能力、沟通能力、团队协作能力以及责任感这6个方面那么分别是对经验的要求这个持平达到366，对学历的要求持平达到这个292，对软件的要求持平达到288对沟通的要求持平达到213然后团队的要求、责任感的要求分别是176和109。那么时隔3年，2021年8月份，腾讯 CDC 通过问卷调研这个发布了2021年中国用户体验行业互联网新兴设计人才白皮书。那么根据这个白皮书提供的数据，那么我们可以看到2021年9月份互联网设计人才需求量岗位是37万家，同比2020年增长了43.3%，尤其是中型及大型招聘需求旺盛，其中新兴的互联网设计岗位占81.7%，传统的设计岗位占18.3%。那么这个我个人认为，这个互联网设计人才需求旺盛的背景可能说也基于2个原因第一个是基于“十四五”规划、国家“十四五”规划和2035年远景目标纲要提出的以数字化转型整体驱动生产方式、生活方式这个变革。那么另外一个原因就是从这个2020年开始受疫情的影响那么我们的生活工作方式的一个转变。不管是这个互联网设计岗位还是传统的设计岗位我们可以看到，经验仍旧是企业招聘设计人才的重点。 那么从总体上来看，企业在招聘时主要倾向招具有1到5年工作经验的设计人才。那么2021年数据我们可以看到，标杆企业对设计人才工作经验的要求比原来更高。那么对3到10年设计人才的需求，这个占比达到了近80%。当然啊，这个很多这个企业在这个招聘时候，非常注重一些核心的能力，比方说理解能力、创新能力、沟通能力和合作精神。所以基于以上啊，我们对设计教育的和设计行业的一个数据的一个分析，我们可以看到，那么设计人才的实践经验不足，依旧是当前企业招聘啊这个学生不能胜任岗位的一个痛点。那么我们可以看到，这个很多企业将设计经验作为招聘人才的一个首要的位置。那么很多人认为啊，这是一种中国设计教育高开与市场需求低走的矛盾。那么为了缓解这一矛盾，提出了设计精英化、设计教育精英化和设计职业化教育的分流等措施。但不可否认的是，设计人才实践经验不足依旧是当前我们的这个痛点那么主要原因那么我认为第一个是设计学科发展快，第二个这个市场变化快，很多学校设计人才培养目标与从业者的能力模型存在差异，师资办学条件还不能够适应社会的发展。那么第二点是设计教育资源分布不均衡，设计专业教师的横向科研资源不足，学生这个参与项目实践的机会太少那同时我们可以看到这个相对于其他学科，我们当前设计教育也有很多有利的条件比方说我们这个设计学科的建设得到了这个国家的重视就在昨天国务院这个学位委员会、教育部发布了新的研究生教育学科专业目录那么在这个目录当中设计升级为1级学科。那么其次是一大批设计行业这个协会积极推动了设计教育的进步那么还有国际交流合作办学促进了设计教育的改革再就是艺术和设计类专业有大量的学科竞赛也是学生进行创新实践交流的平台所以那么基于这么一些这个我们当前利好的政策和我们一些社会力量的一些这个参与，那么我们相信我们这个设计教育在未来还是有着这个美好的明天我就讲到这里，谢谢大家
谢谢袁老师的精彩分享。Thank you for his memorable speech. He analyzed the design education in China through data collection on university enrollment, professional offerings, and corporation recruitment. Then he explored different ways to address the shortage and uneven distribution of design education resources. It was thoughtful. Thank you again. Let's welcome our last one guest speaker, CEIDA's UK Director, course leader at Buckinghamshire New University, Lefteris.
Thank you so much, Martin. And I'd like to really thank Design Day Marathon for the invitation, and of course, CEIDA for this fantastic opportunity to talk. I'm just going to share my screen. I do a lot of talk about design education, but this time we're going to focus on something really specific. So hello, everyone. My name is Lefteris. I've been painting and drawing for a long time, and I became very much interested in the arts and art and design. And then I had a very long career in music. So I was a violinist and I was a composer for soundtracks, and sort of went into composing for quite a while. So currently, I'm a designer, I'm an educator, and I'm a podcaster. I'd like to just do a very, very short introduction about my path in design education. So then we can connect that to what I'm going to say a bit later. So back in 2009, I started reflexive research in design education because I wanted to really find ways to improve the curriculum and the delivery. Because at the time there were many challenges, as they are even more so now. So I wanted to learn more about how to improve these areas. My research was all over the world. And of course, when I talk about things, I'm generally referring to issues and challenges that we're all facing all over the world. So from this research, in 2019, I created the Design Education Forum, and of course, it completely aligned with CEIDA, so we started talking then. And so it started then as a physical event, went on as a virtual event. And we're currently, very soon, in a couple of months, starting Design Education Forum 2022 on experimental teaching in collaboration with CEIDA and Chartered Studies designers. There is also, after the forum finished in 2019, I still want to continue the conversation. So I started Design Education Talks podcast. We're currently in about 70 episodes. And a little bit later, Designer Talks podcast that talks about the personality of the designer and how that influences the work. And that's very much related to today's talk. So really, I'd just like to say a few words about design education and design process. And there's a very long things we can say, but I'd like to focus on something very, very, very specific, because out of everything, today we're going to focus on something very specific. So let's start by looking at some design work. Okay, so does anyone here know the designer? And this is a question just so that people have an idea. So actually, this work was created completely by AI. So it's AI generated work. They named the designer Nikolai Ivanov. So Nikolai Ivanov ended up creating work for clients, and of course you can see the portfolio. You can see more of the work here, and people were not aware that this work was created by AI. As I was creating this presentation, I actually bumped into this picture that just recently, just the other day, won first prize in the US in Colorado State Fair. So it was done exclusively by AI, but we can see that the work is quite derivative. Okay, it's quite derivative. This is pre-Raphaelite, it's a Romantic period. This is very, very reminiscent of a relation to Paul Rand. So, but again, we are at certain crossroads. We're at certain crossroads, and we need to understand things from a design perspective and from the perspective of design education. Of course, all crossroads represent opportunity and ways to redefine our directions. So between AI and human creativity, there are some, of course, intersections to be had. So let's go back to the design process. And really think about what do designers have that AI lacks, or what do designers should have that AI lacks. And I just want the audience to think a little bit about that. And there isn't necessarily a correct answer or a right answer, but I'm going to focus on something very specific. I'd just like for the audience to think a little bit about, how we can move forward in this. So they can draw their own conclusions and have their own ideas about this. So my answer to this would be personality and a set of values, because in my teaching, I do not look at the visual. I look at the values and the ideas, and we have to really remember that it's values and ideas that shape our work, that shape design. It's not the visual design itself. The visual design is a result of the values and the ideas of the designer. So really, what we saw before is that really when the designers lack personality, they use AI to imitate and not innovate. And this is really, really important. We must, we must think about the innovation side and not the imitation side, because there seems to be a lot of derivative work, a lot of work that imitates. And really, this is where the design education needs to focus. Okay, we must focus on creating designers that have personality and have a set of values and do not do derivative work, are not so much worried about the trends, are not so much worried about, but focus on themselves, focus on their own values and their own work. So again, this is my position today, and what I'd like to say to you. And I'd like to continue that with their set of values, really designers need to create their own manifesto. And this links to my workshop here in Design Day 2022, the Manifesto Project. So thank you so much. And you can contact me here or ask me any questions. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, lecturers, for your meaningful speech. Yes, you are right. We are at the crossroad of artificial intelligence, and there are a massive increasing in the number of people join the creative industries. So how can we, as a designer, to prepare for the future? And what more does design education need to do? I believe his question is for all of us. Thank you for staying with us, and thank you for all of our guest speakers. I'm looking forward to see you next time. Thank you. 今天我们的那个马拉松分享就到此结束了，谢谢大家的关注。
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.